our second bout at Brave CF 64. Mzwandile 31, Abusupyan at 33. Mzwandile, the slightly taller man. A real interesting clash of styles, and during the intro I said stylistically this is a very difficult matchup for Mzwandile Hlongwa.
Brave Nation, this fight is going to come down to one simple thing. Can Mzwandile Hlongwa avoid the wrestling?
And you can see it's going to be all about the movement for Mzwandile. We know how dangerous he is on the feet, but he is, if there is a chink in the armor, if there is a weakness, it is the wrestling. But in mixed martial arts, Carrick, every fight does start standing.
Mzwandile shifting a little bit from a orthodox stance to a southpaw, trying to give his opponent different looks, circling constantly feinting. Thus far, very good strategy.
Now, one of Mzwandile's most dangerous weapons is his spinning attacks, but does he risk that and in doing so potentially give up the back to Abusupyan? That's the danger. Abusupyan, of course, is the #1 ranked middleweight in a Brave Combat Federation. Oh, huge 1-2 from Mzwandile Hlongwa.
We may see that wrestling attempt sooner rather than later from Abusupyan.
Mzwandile needs to stay on the bike. Big overhand from Abusupyan Alikhanov.
Another key, Brave Nation, for Mzwandile Hlongwa is to keep his back at least about a meter from that fence. If he gets his back up against the fence, in all likelihood, he's gonna get dropped.
Tentative action right now. Mzwandile again staying on the bike, constant lateral movement. Be within his best interest to keep himself within that smaller circle, not get himself pressured up against the cage. But there always seems like a stark inevitability with Alikhanov when it comes to the grappling. If he initiates the clinch, it could be very dangerous. There's the big takedown. And this is not where Mzwandile Hlongwa wanted to find himself.
Textbook, beautiful timing from Abusupyan Alikhanov.
Finding himself now just in that half guard position. He's going to be happy just to free him off, maybe. Some little petty pad elbows. Free him off, there's the elbow. And right now it is exactly where Abusupyan Alikhanov wants the fight to be. If the ground is deep water, then Alikhanov is unquestionably a shark.
We know Mzwandile Hlongwa has been working on his stand-ups. He's trying to get it. He's starting to get up, maybe moving to full guard. Move to full guard. This is a very good move for him.
Does have that one hook in.
Back to half. This is less good. Half mount in mixed martial arts, half guard in mixed martial arts is being half mounted.
And it's something we see a lot more in mixed martial arts. Fighters happy to be in what we often call that anchor position. And just sit there, do enough work with the shots to stay dominant and force their opponent to exert energy by trying to get up. And if anything, Mzwandile Hlongwa's last fight against Njela really did provide the blueprint for a grappler on how to take on the dangerous striker.
Props to Hlongwa. He actually threw a elbow to the thigh of his opponent. And there, that's what I was expecting.
Alikhanov trying to pass the guard. And you see just how calm Abusupyan Alikhanov is in these positions. No wasted energy. Solidifies the position, throws when necessary, doesn't rush his work, doesn't crowd his work. Very workmanlike, very methodical.
This is his home. Hlongwa trying to get back now to some form of full guard.
In 2021, Abusupyan won the Tartazan President Sambo Cup in Kazan, one of the most prestigious tournaments in World Sambo. That coupled with his World Cup Combat Sambo Championship win make him one of the best in the world at the discipline. And so far, if Snakebone is bringing the poison, bringing the venom, then Alikhanov has the antidote. This is not where Mzwandile Hlongwa wants to find himself. He's trying
There
to get up.
he is.
Just at the end of the round.
Back up to standing.
That may not have been enough. Oh, he hurt him there.
Very
Wow.
exciting, very exciting ending to round one.
Mzwandile has shown just how dangerous the striking is. He landed a beautiful 1-2 early in the round, but as soon as Alikhanov got the big takedown, that was exactly where he wanted to be. And Carrick, I think it's not going to be any secret or surprise how this fight is going to unfold. Mzwandile going to be on the bike, constant movement, trying to land the shots. Alikhanov closing the distance, trying to score that big takedown.
Phil, Mzwandile has a very tough psychological problem to deal with right now. He's going to be able to land from the outside, as we've seen. When you land from the outside, as a fighter, what do you want to do? You want to follow up. All your instinct, all your training says when you land one, throw two. When you land, throw. When you land two, throw three. That's what your body is forcing you to do, but he can't do it. He cannot set down and throw a big combination, or he'll end up on his back again.
So does this have the potential to make Mzwandile Hlongwa somewhat gun-shy in his striking?
I don't think he's going to be so much gun-shy as he wants to stay in the outside. He wants to throw, hey, look at him shift again. He wants to throw single shots from the outside. He does not want to set down and throw a two-punch combination.
He's just trying to find the range. You can see the constant switches and movement, switching stances. Doesn't want to be static for any length of time to leave himself vulnerable to the takedown from Alikhanov.
He's feinting the kicks a little bit. He's trying to set up that big straight hand.
So far, no spinning attacks from Hlongwa, keeping it all right down the middle. Very strategic so far.
Hlongwa's back a little bit too close to the fence right there. And you saw the result.
There's the big takedown, and once again that stark inevitability with regards to the grappling of our #1 ranked middleweight Abusupyan Alikhanov.
There is another inevitability though, and that is that Mzwandile Hlongwa is going to bide his time a little bit, and he's going to try and stand. With his back up against the fence, that stand-up may actually be easier than it was out on the mat.
You see he's trying to wrap up the legs. It's a dangerous position to be in. He's trying to post, trying to get up, but how smart is Alikhanov there? Just grabs the wrist and takes away that post.
Very slick technique from Abusupyan, took away the elbow, popped the knee back a little bit, and he is very comfortably up on top. We're going to expect to see elbows coming down very shortly. Right there it was.
3.5 minutes with which to work here. And yes, this may be Abusupyan Alikhanov's second fight in Brave Combat Federation. You may be wondering why he's ranked #1, but to defeat Rustam Shazayev in the manner in which he did warrants such an accolade.
Alikhanov too has a problem right now, Phil. If he stays comfortably on top, he's not going to have enough distance to land hard shots. If he doesn't land any hard shots, there's going to be a stand-up. So he's got a little bit of a balancing act to do right here. He wants to stay busy enough, land significant shots enough that the referee allows him to stay down. But in order to do that, he's got to posture back a little bit to throw those big shots, and that gives his opponent an opportunity to pop up to standing.
It's that risk versus reward conundrum, isn't it, Carrick? You can see he's framing off well. He's making life constantly uncomfortable for Mzwandile, so he can't settle, he can't find himself in the space to get his back off the cage and get up. Oh, Mzwandile, great
Huge
job.
moment.
That is huge in the fight, as you said, Carrick. But you wonder how much being on the bottom has taken out of Mzwandile. A moral victory, unquestionably. If he can work a little bit of striking and pull back a little bit more of this round.
He's got hammers for hands, rocks inside those gloves. But he cannot be stationary like he is right now. He's got to get back on that bicycle a little bit. There he goes, starting to feint, feinting a takedown, feinting those kicks, feint the hands, and then try and land that big straight.
Yeah, we saw it at Brave 31 and Brave 44 respectively when he beat Jeremy Smith and Dom Schober. in fights where he used every little bit of his striking to get the job done, especially the fight with Dom Schrober, an absolute war in November of 2020 right here in Bahrain. And there is the danger with those spinning attacks. We alluded to that. It leaves yourself vulnerable to the takedown.
I think, though, Phil, he's got a little bit more confidence now in his ability to stand up. I think he's felt his opponent's attack from top. He thinks he can weather it, and he thinks he can get it back up to standing. So what's he doing for the fans? He's looking for that highlight reel knockout. Didn't get it this time, but I'm pretty sure he's going to try at least one more time.
And that speaks to the confidence of somebody who is a supremely dangerous striker. Nice elbow over the top from Alikhanov, burying his head into the chest. Mzwandile Hlongwa making it uncomfortable.
30 seconds now, Brave Nation.
Just acting like a fire blanket to extinguish the flames of Mzwandile Hlongwa. Nice shoulder pressure there. Mzwandile has enough time to have a little shake of his mouthpiece. Final 10 seconds of the second round. And Kirik, it has to be said, from his last fight against NJ Lat, there have been improvements in his ability to stand back up, but 2 rounds in, are those improvements enough?
2 rounds in, Phil, he is down 20-18. In order to win this fight, he needs to stop his opponent. He's not known as a submission specialist. We all know what this man can do, and that's knock people out. He's got one of the most viral knockouts in combat sports history.
Yep.
From that aforementioned spinning hammer fist, spinning elbow. He's going to try and do it one more time, and it's what he needs to do. His bread and butter, however, is that straight right hand. He's going to start this round feinting again. We just need to see him circle a little bit more, not let his back get anywhere close to that fence. If it gets closer than a meter to that fence, or if it's half a meter from the fence, he's going to get put down instantaneously. He's got to stay close to center cage, keep moving, keep feinting, try and land that big straight right. He's landed it before. It's had a big effect. If he does it again, it can have the effect that he needs.
Another factor being that Abusupyan Alikhanov has been to a decision 6 times in his career. Mzwandile has only gone the distance twice. So this is a vastly more experienced area of the fight for Alikhanov. Mzwandile trying to land that big straight again.
He's got to be careful stalking. He can't move forward constantly trying to land that straight,
because that forward momentum could lead him right into being taken down. Abusupyan Alikhanov showing that he's no slouch when it comes to the dynamic striking either. Giving Mzwandile lots to think about. You can see there's almost a little bit of tentativeness with Mzwandile now. He doesn't want to overcommit to the strikes. Doesn't want Abusupyan Alikhanov to close that distance and get in within grabbing distance.
Abusupyan showing some very impressive kicks. Beautiful tornado kick, beautiful side kick.
Mzwandile needs to get his back off against the cage, and that's what happens when he overcommits to the strikes. Another big takedown. The timing on the takedowns, the intelligence of the takedowns is what has been so impressive from Abusupyan Alikhanov.
Brave Nation, the timing it takes to do the double leg that you saw right there, at most, maybe 2/100ths of a second off, and it will not work. It's a supremely high level of technique that allows him to get in there without being struck, almost makes it look easy.
Mzwandile trying to do damage from the bottom. Passing violently into side control is Alikhanov.
First time we've seen Abusupyan in top side control fully.
Switching just momentarily to almost scarf position, then right back into side control. And look at the lack of space he is giving Mzwandile. No space between the hips. He's keeping his left hip completely pinned against the right hip of Mzwandile. Could be trying to switch into crucifix position here. He's trying to isolate that wrist.
He's trying to take that knee, work it inside the near arm, and then pin the arm.
There's potential for knee on belly here and into mount if he wants it. Distract with the arm and switch into mount. Oh, there it is. Crucifix position, but can Mzwandile get out? Trying to roll Alikhanov.
Mzwandile out of side control.
Did a good job to reclaim guard, but right now he needs to get back to the feet and throw the kitchen sink at Abusupyan. Again, just constant, methodical, workman-like performance from Alikhanov. Has a job to do, doing it with such proficiency.
Methodical and workman-like perhaps, but he's getting smarter and smarter. He's learning what Mzwandile Hlongwa does in order to stand up, and he's thwarting it almost before it happens.
Has enough time to throw a little thumbs up to his corner. Mzwandile trying to get up, but when you're in that open forum of the mat, pretty much in the center of the Brave arena, it becomes so much more difficult, Kirik. Abusupyan turning it up a little bit more with the strikes.
Abusupyan maybe trying to set up a submission here. Posturing back a little bit, switching the angles.
The hip positioning each time from Alikhanov is fantastic, leaving so little space and even just framing off against the throat to make things uncomfortable. It's all these little nuanced pieces of grappling that only somebody who's so experienced and as capable as Alikhanov can execute so well. 30 seconds to go, and barring something spectacular from Mzwandile, we could be looking at a shutout here, Kirik.
Brave Nation, you are watching why the man in front of you on top is the #1 ranked contender in Brave Combat Federation globally.
There you have it. Wonderfully dominant performance. Seeing some of the work here, and Abusupyan Alikhanov landing some beautiful shots from the guard. Doing a great job of dominating Mzwandile Hlongwa, taking away his most dangerous weapons, that being his striking. It's pretty much elementary at this stage, or rudimentary, just waiting for the scores to be tabulated correctly. Both fighters are in the cage. As soon as we see the roaring lion, Carlos Kramer,
Carlos Kramer, tell us what we know.
All right, Brave Nation. After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. 2 judges scored about 30-27, and 1 judge scores about 29-28. for unanimous decision victory. Out of the blue corner, Abusupyan Alikhanov.